Okay, we are back on the First and Goal podcast after a big championship weekend. How are you doing today, Jacob?
Doing well, can't complain. Crazy weekend, actually. Another two very close games.
Yeah, I mean, this entire playoffs has been close, other than a couple games, I believe, on wild card weekend. Everything else has been decided by one possession.
Yeah, it's been nice. It's been a nice little change.
And I gotta say, Joe Burrow, what a quarterback! The Bengals lucked into that and might have saved their franchise by tanking for a year.
Yeah. We both went 1-1, I think, in predictions, right?
So yeah, I had Rams, Chiefs, and you had,
Bengals, Niners.
and I think I went 1-for-1 on against the spread too because I had it as a field goal game for the Chiefs Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, I would have won both of them too because winning outright would have had both covered. But yeah, no, Burrow looked. He's the guy. He is the guy.
Which, can you imagine? It's Burrow, Allen, and Mahomes now in the AFC as I think the clear-cut top three quarterbacks for this next decade.
Now a lot of people are going to say Herbert too.
I mean, these guys. Herbert has the stats. He hasn't made the postseason yet. I'll give it a little bit of time, but could end up being, granted, these guys really have to improve and keep on being consistent and not get injured, which with Burrow, he had an injury his rookie year. But it's essentially you could have where Brady Manning were always facing the playoffs, but then adding in someone like a Brett, and then adding in it's essentially Big Ben, but with more consistency.
I was going to say for a while there, you had Big Ben and Flacco.
Yeah, I'd put
Flacco was pretty good.
Or you add Favre into that mix.
What was that?
Or you add like a Favre into that mix.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be an entertaining long time for the AFC.
If these guys can start, I mean, obviously the Bengals, they have a lot of money coming into this offseason. If they win the game, they're going to re-sign their guys.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's many to re-sign. And then they got to do something about that O-line, or else you're not going to have Burrow healthy.
They're going to throw a lot of money into the O-line. And I mean, that's if you add in one of the two rookies this year from this draft class, maybe one of them gets really good between Lawrence and Zach Wilson. That's adding into the AFC. I don't know. That's going to be very crazy. Tua continues to improve every year. That could be possible. Who knows where Deshaun Watson ends up? But
yeah, the AFC looks loaded with QBs as the NFC is getting rid of their older QBs.
So I guess let's jump right into that game. Outside of Burrow, what shocked you the most?
Mahomes in the second half.
I was going to say the same thing. The quarterback rating, his first half rating was 98.0. His second half and overtime rating, a 1.4. It was the biggest drop in the statistics history from first half to second half. If you're a Chiefs fan, how much are you worried going forward?
I mean, I think it's just a bad half. He's been to 4 straight AFC championship games, 2 straight Super Bowls before that. They're going to be back in the mix every single year that they have him, and they have him on a 10-year deal. But that deal, once it actually starts kicking in that money, it's going to be hard to get these guys back under contract once you have to re-sign them.
Definitely. I think
especially Kelsey getting up there in age. I think he's on the wrong side of 30 now.
Yeah.
But
we'll see how they do. It seems like they're always getting young talent, but I think that the talk of him and Brady needs to now really chill out. He is by far not Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no one's Tom Brady.
I don't think anyone
Let's get that straight. No one is Tom Brady. I think he won, 3 Super Bowls in his first 5 years in the league?
He won 3 Super Bowls in his first 10 years, 3 in his second 10 years, and then 1 in his final 2.
Well, I mean, his first, I think, 5 or 6 years in the league with that obviously was led by that Patriots defense, but he won 3 Super Bowls there. He got him back to a Super Bowl with arguably the greatest offensive season ever by a wide receiver quarterback duo, and with him and Moss. Did you see Moss's post about him?
I did not.
it was just like he brought up that catch to the Jets in it. And I think him and Moss are such good friends still.
Yeah, I mean, it was the greatest wide receiver season we had ever seen at that point. Possibly still have ever seen. But going back into the game, if you're Cincinnati, what's the level of excitement? Not even just for this next coming game. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot of excitement, but for the coming years.
I mean, from what I've been hearing, everything in Cincinnati is like crazy. Did you see that I think the mayor of Cincinnati or the school board there
Yeah.
shut down or closed schools for the day after the Super Bowl in anticipation of them winning the game? They haven't been there since what, 88?
Yeah, so both times that they actually went to the Super Bowl, they lost to the 49ers, which would have been pretty crazy had they gone and played the 49ers now. Would have been a little eerie for a bunch of Bengals fans, but no, I'm very happy for Cincinnati. Joe Shiesty, Joe Cool, Joe, I forget what other nicknames he now has. God, that's a guy that you build a franchise around. No doubt about it. I think
you were right, where it's don't count Burrow out over Herbert.
I've been saying it since day one. I kind of barked back at some of these people because earlier on in the season, after his second 500-yard games against the Ravens this year, but imagine thinking that Joe Burrow isn't better than Justin Herbert. And I had some responses on our tweet saying, "Oh, it's just because he played a trash Ravens defense that's all banged up, blah 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 blah." And so Sunday night, I went back to that tweet, and then on all of them, I just put like a dumb SpongeBob, like the "you like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward," where he makes that dumb face. Doesn't have the caption on there. And one guy still said, "Well, if Herbert had that type of defense, he would easily be in this position, if not in a better position." And I didn't even try to respond.
I mean, this defense is good, but they're so young.
Yeah, could you imagine Herbert with that offensive line? It wouldn't be too great.
I mean, you can't imagine it. It was the season before.
I
mean,
I don't know if it's that bad.
On Cincinnati, I was completely wrong on their season. I thought they should have went with Penei Sewell in the draft or Rashawn Slater.
Yeah, no, they shut up everyone by really succeeding.
Jamar Chase is a stud. Him and Burrow, if they can stay together and stay healthy. Just imagine Moss and Brady in their primes coming up together.
T. Higgins is possibly the best number 2 receiver I've seen.
You think he's better than Godwin Evans?
It's up there. And then
Jordy
Tyler Boyd's not a
Devontae.
joke. Tyler Boyd's not a joke at number 3.
Mm-hmm. You also hear Uzama can come back for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean that's huge. The person I feel the worst for, and I mean it's kind of on him, AJ Green.
I mean, is it on him? Was he the one that forced his way out?
Well, he kind of didn't want to play the year before, but I don't know. I mean, they got it right by getting Jamar Chase, obviously.
Yeah, and you don't know what they would have done if they kept AJ Green. They probably still would have taken Chase, but you just never know.
Thank God they did. I mean, without Chase, this team's not in the Super Bowl.
Obviously, Mahomes had a bad second half, but all the credit in the world to the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah. I mean, I even see fans that aren't like Bengals fans that are just hyped for this.
I feel like also one of the dumbest comments following this game was a Colin Cowherd comment saying that Andy Reid at the end of his career is going to be as highly regarded as Bill Belichick. Not sure how you make that comparison. One is 3-5, I believe, now in conference championship games, with 1 and 2 in the Super Bowl, and one has 10 rings. So,
well, yeah, one has 10 rings. I believe
amongst all the staff.
6 and 3 in Super Bowls as a head coach, and
way more conference championship games.
Yeah, and is arguably the greatest GM head coach combination, or is the greatest head coach GM combination in league history
He's
versus a
possibly the
guy
greatest coach in
who
NFL history.
had a more talented team
Yeah,
most of the time and still ended up losing games.
some of those teams in Philadelphia were just amazing.
You can't tell me you couldn't win a
McNabb
Super
was
Bowl
in
with
it
Donovan
somewhere.
McNabb.
Yeah, McNabb, and then the year that you had T.O. Obviously T.O. was hurt going into the Super Bowl. I don't think he played that game, but still, he went to 4 straight NFC championships there and only won one of them.
But yeah, no, there's no comparison between Belichick and Reed.
No. Then from from the old guy versus the coach of the year, you go then to NFC game, which was on Fox. I thought the NBC had the Super Bowl. I got that wrong. So we go over to Fox and we get the 49ers and the Rams. Jimmy G looked good until he didn't. But Deebo Samuel, if they get him a guy that can get him the ball consistently, he is by far one of the best weapons in the NFL.
Yeah. And I think the way Jimmy G's talking about it right here on NFL.com, he hopes to find the right destination. I think that Lynch and the 49ers already told him that after the season, we're planning on moving you to put Trey Lance in there.
Yeah, so Lynch after the game was at the tunnel giving every guy handshakes, saying like, hey, nice season. We'll get back out there. When Jimmy G had come down what is that called? The tunnel. It was a long conversation ended with a big hug. And so they're basically saying like it was a farewell, Jimmy G. That was his
Well, it's
last
probably
game.
Thanks for getting us this far, but to move to the next step, we got to
Yeah.
move on.
It's probably we appreciate everything you've done for us, but we're gonna end up having to move on here. So unfortunate for Jimmy G because I still think he's a good quarterback. I'm not sold on Trey Lance by any means, so I'm not sure it's gonna get better for them. But 49ers, I think that they might regret this decision long term. As for the Rams, they definitely don't regret the 365 days that they had Matt Stafford.
Yeah. Matt Stafford, I mean, first 3 quarters of the game, you can't the 49ers looked like the far better team, which I think I saw a stat that the 10-point deficit overcome by Stafford and the Rams was the largest overcome, I think, in a conference championship game in league history going into the 4th quarter.
That is crazy.
I think the previous one was like 9.
Yeah, and crazy thing for Shanahan, there has been 4 double-digit losses when leading in the 4th quarter by 10 or more points in both championship game and Super Bowl history. He's involved in 3 of the 4. Because of this year, and then the Super Bowl of 49ers versus Chiefs, the Super Bowl when he was the OC, Falcons versus Patriots. We all know how that one ends. The 28-3 game. It got to start questioning his clutch ability.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Falcons won. He didn't run the football, and that cost him the game. The Chiefs, I think Patrick Mahomes just played unbelievable to make that comeback. Probably could have ran the ball more. And he couldn't. I don't think you could have just ran the ball against his Rams defense. They were stacking the box and trying to stop the run and make Jimmy G beat him.
Jimmy G. So unfortunate for them. Cooper Kupp is amazing. OBJ, actually, he could be the best second receiver in the league.
Well, they might be missing their number 2 receiver for the entire season in Robert Woods.
Yeah, well, right now, number 2 is OBJ. He's not going to be on that team next year because he's going to sign another massive deal somewhere, whether that is in a place like Denver or Vegas.
Or Chicago.
It seems like Tampa's going to have some money open up. Who knows?
Well, they need to pay a quarterback.
It'll be Trubisky. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But the Rams have everything going for them. that defense still looks so good, even though they played a little shaky to begin. They were very much bend, don't break, but it got the job done.
Yeah,
Stafford,
Raheem Morris looks like a great coach. And again, McVay just keeps on bringing these coordinators. I don't know if it's just a system or what. That just look like studs and then end up getting head coaching jobs, which for all the people that were talking shit about the McVay like family tree or whatever, 3 of the 4 head coaches in that championship game were all from that like Shanahan McVay tree. So
yeah,
what can you say? And 2 of them are in the Super Bowl.
yeah. So, oh well. Um, I this is definitely like they have to win now because I don't think they're gonna be able to win later based on what the cap is gonna do to this team. However, they they did it by saying like, hey, we're just gonna build up. It's all or nothing. If this team wins, Matt Stafford, no doubtably in my mind, is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Um,
Well, he has the
honestly,
stats.
he might be a Hall of Fame quarterback without the Super Bowl. But which I think we had this debate like years ago where I said that, and people weren't exactly sold on that idea.
Well, it was also before he actually had a playoff win in his career. I don't think you can make the Hall of Fame without winning a playoff game. I don't care what team you're on.
We'll see. But I mean, that's out the window. So
Yeah.
this team did it all. The win now, they're gonna be screwed on draft picks for years to come. Um, obviously, they pay a lot of money to Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and now Matt Stafford, soon Cooper Kupp. Um,
Maybe Cooper Cup.
I don't know if they already pay that guy, but I don't think they do. And then we'll see what happens. But Chiefs Bengals going to be an excellent game.
I mean, Rams, Bengals.
Yeah, Rams Bengals. It's gonna be a great game, and then we'll kind of discuss that more next week. But other news around the league, we'll go back into the coaching carousel. Byron Leftwich, as we said last week, or I guess this weekend, not official yet with the Jaguars. They're still interviewing new candidates. As for the Vikings, they are bringing in for an interview tomorrow Jim Harbaugh. University of Michigan, I guess, is already getting ready to replace him. So that's usually a pretty good sign that he's going to get this job. The big candidate is Matt Patricia, which I'm sure people of Michigan are hating that right now.
Yeah. I don't understand that.
Then in the big legal news, Brian Flores is suing the NFL, the New York Football Giants, the Miami Dolphins, and the Denver Broncos for their hiring ethics. What do you have to say about this?
I mean, so Flores came out today and said that the owner offered to pay him $100,000 for every loss that he had.
Wait, what?
He said that the owner was offering $100,000 per loss. He wanted them to tank, which I don't think any owner in the NFL would say that, especially in this draft class
No.
with no elite quarterback.
So wait, that would be the Dolphins and they suing.
Yeah, it might have been someone's mentioned something about like the Joe Burrow class that they wanted him to tank but didn't.
So then why is he suing the other two in the NFL?
Because I'm guessing I don't know.
It's because he didn't get hired for the job.
Because the Broncos hired a guy who's probably going to be who they're going after at quarterback's OC.
And Brian Dable was like the golden child of this head coaching class.
Yeah,
Giants, so I'm not sure what the issue is there. Everyone wanted Dable. Every single team that has an open position, and probably some that have filled positions, want Brian Dable.
No, I disagree with him being fired at all in Miami. I thought he did a great job there.
I do too.
But,
so like, if that was what the debate was, hey, I got fired even though I'm doing a great job. I don't think that's enough to be suing the team. If that was, I would say Lovie Smith definitely got cheated out of that ability. But I don't understand what he's trying to achieve here.
Yeah, I don't either.
And then his like weird response, like, God gave me a gift to be a good football coach. but I need to work on what's right. I don't know what's right. Just go back to Belichick's staff, become the DC. You'll probably be the next now head coach of the New England Patriots.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it sounds like the New England Patriots are getting ready for their new coordinators to be Bill O'Brien, former Patriots guy. DC, I heard that they're looking at Flores, former Patriots
Well,
guy. And then bringing in
Belichick is the DC right now. Steve.
I think he's the linebackers coach because it was Patricia.
Oh, I think he might have been calling plays then.
But regardless, Patricia was the DC. They're getting ready for him to move to Michigan. And then they're talking about getting a new special teams guy by the name of Joe Judge, also former Patriots guy.
So they're all bringing back their same coordinators that failed as head coaches.
Yeah, and the current special teams guy, I guess, is already getting ready to agree to just take a step down and be another special teams coach somewhere else or doing something else with the team. But pretty much Belichick's getting the gang back together.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It makes sense. Honestly, if I'm a coordinator and I saw how they performed with Mac Jones, a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, and
I
Bill
might be
O'Brien,
excited.
it would be stupid not to go there. I know he's with Alabama, but
I mean, Alabama looks so good in that AFC or in that NCAA championship.
Yeah, but it's still Alabama. The job security is definitely there.
Yeah.
And you're a legend as soon as you win just one season. Then it's on to the next one.
I mean, he's going from good friend to the two guys that he's having in his head as his head coaches are pretty good friends anyway.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he just switches year after year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's weird that he's doing this now because especially with coaches getting hired and stuff. Not all the job openings were even closed, so I'm not sure why he's doing that now. I thought he was still a front runner for the Texans job.
He's going back to the Texans.
Who?
Bill O'Brien. Oh,
No,
Flores.
I'm saying Flores.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, we both said that we thought Cully did a really good job with what he was given in Houston, but whatever.
I don't know.
What do we know?
I thought certainly he was going to get hired. The Saints were another one that he was very much connected to. So I'm sure
the Saints job might be the least attractive job out there.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely a rebuild situation down there.
That's a complete teardown and rebuild.
That division is about to be worse than the NFC North.
Well, it's the worst quarterback division in football now.
Well, I mean, the NFC North's not too much better of a situation.
Well, you don't trust Justin Fields?
Not yet. I mean, to give perspective, Drew Brees didn't have a winning regular season until year 4 of his career. So I'm not saying he's going to be Drew Brees, but we got to give the kid a chance. His rookie year doesn't really say much. Peyton Manning had one of the worst rookie years of all time. So I don't know. I'm not too worried. I think a new coaching staff's good. He hasn't left the building either, I guess. I think he just keeps training, trying to get better. So if that's the mentality, then it can't hurt.
Do they have like a cot set up for him or something, or do they buy him a bed?
Every time they do anything in Hallis Hall, he's always there working out. Like no other players were there, and then all of a sudden Eberflus and Poles walk in, and he stopped doing squats and went to go shake their hands. Like no one else is in the building. Like if you're gonna do that, wouldn't you have like Roquan Smith and Khalil Mack? Like didn't look like it was a setup. Khalil Mack, by the way, is in Cairo. No idea why.
Enjoying his off season.
He said he's doing off-season workouts there. I don't know. So, anything else that you have to talk about for this episode?
Not really, except I guess with the Flores thing too, him saying that the owner or that the Broncos should only sell to a black owner.
Yeah, that part's dumb too.
Just like they're gonna sell to whoever meets the closest to their asking price,
or goes over that asking price because that's the team that you want to own.
Or because they are a family-owned like organization, someone that they feel like is going to continue that like family-owned organization.
Yeah, possibly 2 brothers that are very much football royalty. I'm sure the dad and younger brother might get involved in the Mannings.
and then they draft the nephew.
Oh, that would be funny. But no, they I think make the most amount of sense. I'm sure they'll get financial help and financial backing, but when you think football guy, you think Peyton Manning.
Oh no, Giselle and Tom both have a net worth of about 650 million.
I know. I mean, that would be cool too. Maybe they partner up finally. They try to win
Yeah.
Denver Super Bowls. That would seem like something Tom would do too. So I don't know. We'll see. Got a big week ahead of us. Not with the Pro Bowl or anything, but we're gonna try to get some NFL draft prospects on the show. Hopefully, rather soon. They'll come out as solo episodes, similar to we do with our UFC podcast. It'll just be the interview, nothing else. It'll be direct to that. Usually they'll be about 15, 20 minutes, nothing crazy. And I think that's all I have to say. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, can't wait for the Super Bowl. This is one of the more ones I'm more hyped for, just because it is a new matchup we haven't seen there in a while, and I'm kind of excited for both quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's two guys that have not won.
And I'm kind of excited for it just because I kind of like both of them, whereas I'm not the biggest Patrick Mahomes fan.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, as much as I love Brady, it's not going to be Brady's 8th ring.
yeah.
So we'll see. If you guys are gambling, gamble responsibly. I know we didn't have anything to gamble on. If you're gambling on or thinking about gambling on the Pro Bowl, here's a little tip. Don't. It's not worth it. The Pro Bowl is a joke. So just stay away. Don't even bother watching it. And let the NFL know that you're upset with them.
They should just do a skills challenge.
Yeah, no, if they brought back the skills challenge, this would all be okay. But I also wish they would do it the week after the Super Bowl.
Like what they used to do.
Yeah, so maybe, I don't know, you could have the two best teams have guys represented.
Did you see who the coaches are for it?
So it's the Packers staff, right?
LaFleur and Vrabel.
But like, how is the Packers staff going to be there when half of them are gone?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, there's no Getsy, there's no Hackett, there's no who's the other guy that you guys just lost?
I don't know. He went to the Bears, so you should know.
Corner, or I think the corners coach or something like that, but I don't know.
Well, they just promoted everybody from within.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend. Stay warm wherever you guys are, and peace.
Yep. See ya.